Welcome back to Cash vs Trash, the series where I spend as much cash as possible to try and make my car as fast as possible.
And I use literal trash to try and do the same thing. If you've ever raced your car or signed up for a track day, there's a good chance in the rules that they send you, there's a whole section in there about what to wear. They might tell you to wear long pants, long shirts, enclosed shoes, and helmets.
That's right. Now, depending on the kind of driving that you're doing, whether it's a track day, a drift day, drag racing, there are different rules and regulations, but we have an imminent battle coming up with the Peugeot and the Swift. It is going to be at a racetrack, and as such, we thought we would continue the theme of Cash vs Trash and get ourselves ready for the big race day that is imminent. The cars are almost ready. So today I'm going to be going to like a race apparel shop to get all of my stuff sorted. Marty's going to be going somewhere else. And then as usual, we're going to get an expert to come in and have a chat about our gear. So first up, it's time for me to go shopping.
I really don't like shopping even at the best of times, which is why I've worn the same clothes for the last 20 years. But this is serious business now because I'm here to get a race suit. Yeah, I've been to some Lotus track days and now I'm going to look like the owner of an Exige, except I don't work in IT. It's important that the suit feels comfortable, particularly while pretending to drive a fast car, something Honda Civic owners have a lot of experience with. I'll also be getting some gloves while I'm here, plus my very first hands device, something we'll delve deeper into further into the video. These come in a few different sizes and require a compatible car helmet to go with it. But that begs the question, can't you just wear a motorbike helmet? Well, it turns out that's a complex question and another one that we're going to answer with our expert later in the video. I'm also being urged to buy some racing shoes, and I'll be honest, I just can't take these things seriously, but I have been told by a few professional drivers that these can be a game changer. Plus, they stop your feet catching on fire in an accident, which is probably a good thing. But all of this stuff is expensive.
That's how you spend as much as a car on your safety stuff. And now I'll be full banana suit man. So I've got all of my stuff, and before I tell you how much this costs, let me give you a few more details about each of these items.
This race suit is FIA approved and designed to be lightweight, sturdy and offer good mobility. Its main purpose is to be fireproof thanks to the Nomex material used, and buy you some time if you're unlucky enough to be stuck in a car fire. Gloves, also fireproof and designed to offer maximum grip and steering wheel feedback. The hands device, as seen in Formula 1, attaches to a compatible helmet to minimise head movement and rotation, and in turn reduce the chance of serious neck injuries. According to NASCAR, IndyCar and Formula 1, this device has saved hundreds of lives. The helmet also has fireproof properties and allowance for microphone and headphones for rally use. Lastly, racing boots are designed like sports shoes to be lightweight and comfortable, but also offer fire protection thanks to the addition of Nomex and good pedal feel. But the price of all of this? Well, we'll get to that shortly.
He's obviously spent way too much. Now it's time for me to go shopping.
I've been to a lot of track days and the requirements are simple. Long pants, long sleeves. Nobody ever said anything about a race suit and fireproof undies, so I'm going to spend as little as possible to meet the requirements.
So for most track days, you always need long pants and long sleeves. So I'm down here at Lifeline. It's a second-hand shop, and I am going to find myself some mad clothes for my day.
The cheapest pants and cheapest top we can find, Martin. I'm down for these, mate. Go the Eels.
I've managed to get myself a long sleeve top and some tracksuit pants, so let's get back to the shed and discuss how much we spent.
Okay, so it's come to that time of the show. It's time to talk money. Marty, where'd you end up?
Well, long pants, long sleeve, a helmet that I've owned for years for a motorbike, and unless you like going to the track in flip-flops, jandals or thongs, then there's a good chance you're already having closed shoes. I've spent $8.
That's pretty good. Plus, at Lifeline, it's supporting a charity, which is good, $8 to a good cause. Meanwhile, over here, this is $3,500.
Wow.
Yes,
Dude, you're wearing a jumper that you've been wearing for nearly a decade and a half.
I don't like spending money on clothes.
But look how much you just did spend.
Look at my shoes. I threw these in the bin and then realised they can keep going. That can keep going. I'm all about the longevity of just wearing things over and over and over again. But you know what? Helmets run out of date, race suits run out of date.
But is all that actually required and worth it though?
That's the question that we're about to find out the answer to, Martin. So it's time to bring in our expert. Josh is from V Sport. Not only does he know about all of this safety stuff, he also races cars and has had some first-hand experience in a car upside down at a very high speed. What happened?
Basically had a brake failure.
Okay.
Barrel rolled 6 times at Wakefield, so all this safety equipment came into play and helped save my life and, whatever else. So.
Okay, well, yeah, thank you so much for coming down and having a chat with us today. I'm going to start with the helmet, because this is a big one. So normally when people go and do a track day or something, they get their motorbike helmet, they go down and buy a cheap helmet.
Correct.
This helmet here I picked up was $900. It's got a hands device. What is the difference between something like this and something like a motorcycle helmet that you can get for $60 or $70 that you would normally wear just on your bike? What's the difference and where's the money?
Look, this sort of helmet, the Chiba helmet, is okay for general track days, but obviously there's more safe versions which comes in here. The more strict safety tests and measures that are put on the helmet when they're designed, the impacts that it can take, and then it's a flow-on effect from there. So obviously this one has hands posts on it, which will take a hands device, which we'll get to shortly. So it's just another level of safety that you're bringing into your track day and hopefully saving something that might go wrong.
Now, a lot of the things we're talking about here is fire safety. Is there a difference between a car helmet and a motorbike? Because I don't imagine someone's on fire in a motorbike for a long time compared to the potentiality of that in a car.
Yep. Look, there is. Obviously, being an open face, that is significantly less. That's where a balaclava will come in as well to help. But it's not the main fire aspect that we're looking for. The balaclava is what's going to buy you the time there.
Okay.
The helmet has some fire retardant properties in it, but it's not the be-all.
And to be clear, that's because of the materials it's made of, right? So with the suit and the balaclava, like you mentioned, it's not just a straight up cotton or whatever. It's like it's treated or it's made, created somehow.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
And so this stuff here, specifically this, the balaclava, this is not made to save your life, it's made to give you time, right? And these are rated for, I mean, we'll get to this, but this is 12 seconds or 11 and this is 5 and you're buying time.
You're buying time to get yourself out of the car, whether that's to get to a fire extinguisher that's in your car or a fire post or just to get out of the car.
Yeah.
It's designed to not be on fire once the flame has stopped hitting it. So as long as it's within that time frame, then hopefully you should be all good.
Now, Josh, when most people go to track days, often the rules are you must have, enclosed shoes, long pants, long sleeves. And that's sort of all they say. Yep. So more often than not, and part of the reason we got this stuff is because this is what you see people wearing, right? Just whatever sort of
unfortunately,
long tracky dacks or footy shorts, or not shorts, like footy pants or whatever,
yep.
In this case, the Eels. How's this work for a track day? What's your thoughts on that?
It doesn't.
No good?
No.
Right.
Basically, in the event of a fire or something like that, this is going to melt to your skin. You've heard of die-hard supporters before. You're going to be a lifelong supporter if you're wearing that.
Because 100% polyester.
Yeah. So basically, it needs to be cotton, long sleeve t-shirt. Even jeans are okay.
Yep.
Because there's another level of retardedness in the fire protection. So this. No good.
So this sticks to you, even though it's light and people might want to wear their
light and comfortable,
yeah.
But there's perforations in here to let air through and flame and everything. So
because polyester is essentially like a plastic, isn't it?
I think that's the thing, it melts, and so if that melts to your skin, then you've got to remove your skin to remove that. Okay, that's probably a segue then to come into my new Hotel Banana yellow suit. Tell me about this. I've never worn a race suit before, but I've been to a few Lotus track days, so I've seen people wearing them. Tell us about this. So this is probably around $1,500.
Yep.
It obviously keeps the fire off you. What else? Tell me about this.
Look, the main thing is fire protection. It is an FIA standard suit, as you can see on the label there. So they're all built to an FIA standard that is good for international competition to some degree. It's good for club level, national level. It is all about buying you time. It's to get you out of the car, away from the fire, and then hopefully, you go to the next track day. Again, that suit will be no good, but you'll be fine.
And there's some levels of racing and even club levels where you have to have a suit.
Absolutely. Any Motorsport Australia sanctioned event will require some sort of protection. Right. It's always recommended to wear a fireproof suit. The cotton long sleeve and all that are okay, but you can always do better.
Okay. And so that same philosophy, I gather, continues to the gloves as well. So
Yep.
gloves are not only about kind of giving you some fire protection, but also grip, because I know a lot of people when they're getting all anxious in the cars and the adrenaline's on, they're getting sweaty. So this is about
Sweaty
being able
hands.
to grip as well, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of people will come in, they'll buy these because they get sweaty hands on a leather steering wheel and they slip. But again, they're 11 seconds to save you time. If you're getting out of something on fire, you need to grab to get out of the car and open a handle. So it's another layer of protection. The cuffs actually go over the top of the suit, so there's no air gap there to aid in that protection. So yeah, it's, top to toe, you need to be covered, you need to be protected.
All right, so let's talk shoes. So this one, that's what you might see in average Joe wear to a track day, just something like that, which is obviously still better than a flip-flop jandal or a thong. But yeah, what are the other options?
So obviously race boot, this is our entry-level sort of race boot here. It's again FIA approved, it's got all the labels and everything.
So you might
The
have to wear
hologram.
shoes and some events.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, right.
Yeah, absolutely. There's different levels of that. We can go all the way up to this shoe, which is extremely light.
Oh, wow.
Basically,
it's like as heavy as a sock.
Yeah.
And super
Wow.
thin soles too.
How do they, what's the sole? How do they actually
So
get
the
it so
sole's made
light?
of carbon fibre, which aids
Wow.
in heat management and protection again. In V8 supercars or GT3 cars, there's a lot of heat in the footwells.
Yep.
That helps, guard against that for a period of time.
How much is a shoe like that?
These are around $600
Okay, for one or for two?
for two.
All right, good. So look, I think kind of what we've learned so far, let me know if I got any of this right or wrong. Polyester bad, because
Yeah, no,
polyester
don't go
melts,
there.
so that's just a no-go. Even under a suit. So no,
no.
sports wicking shirts and stuff, none of that stuff.
Check
We're
the
aiming
label.
for cotton. Long sleeves for our pants, we're talking about jeans,
Jeans are okay.
as opposed to wearing something like that, go the eels. And if you're doing some serious racing or competition stuff, you want to be head to toe in as much fire retardant stuff as you can to buy you time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hands is head and neck,
Neck safety.
And the idea is to limit how much your head can move side to side. So I can see why this was introduced, but this is now adopted. In Formula One, people wear these, right? They have to.
Correct.
Can you tell me a little bit
In
about that?
every sanctioned event, Motorsport Australia, FIA, everything, it is recommended, highly recommended, if not compulsory, to wear a hands device.
For this to be running in your car, there's a couple of conditions that need to be met, which is a fixed back seat.
Yes.
It's a roll bar and a harness. So those three, correct? Yeah.
And a hands-compatible helmet.
And a hands, of course.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
All right, there it is.
Thanks,
Hopefully
Josh.
that has given you some information about safety things.
While your Tracky Dax may seem like a good option, added with some sportswear or sweat wicking activewear, there are better options. While you don't necessarily need a full race suit to meet track day requirements, you're best to avoid polyester and aim for 100% cotton tops and denim pants. Adding some gloves to your setup is a good idea for steering wheel grip and hand protection. And a motorbike helmet's okay for most applications, but once you're going a full cage, harness and fixed back seats, then you should definitely look into a Hans device and a dedicated track day helmet.
So this is my impersonation of a Lotus driver on their first track day.
And I am a very confused cyclist who refuses to get clothes that fit him properly and still will not give away his Parramatta Eels pants and decided to wear that to a track day, which is completely the wrong stuff to wear, and I am going to change it for our actual track day.
There is nothing wrong with the eels, mate. I used to live in Parramatta, just up from the jail, opposite the methadone clinic under the drug dealers, and I enjoyed my time there. It was very good, and I would hear the roar of the stadium as the Eels AFLs would kick the things through the things.
Did you walk around like that?
No.
Well, that's probably why you're still here today. Anyway, so we do have an upcoming battle. We are going to take all this safety advice in mind as much as possible, particularly in the Swift, which has been set up for some serious safety equipment, and the Peugeot, not so much.
It's a car.
It's a car.
The Peugeot's a car.
Yeah.
But today was something a little bit different, but also super educational because, a few days ago, I didn't know about hands devices. I didn't know about this fire thing. I didn't know if you got 5 seconds or 12 seconds or what it was. So we hope that this was something that was educational for you as well. If you do want to support the show, of course, you can go to mightycommonwealth.com and get some merch. I can just see this ridiculous thing of colour out the side over here. That's not me, it's you actually. You look ridiculous. I look fine.
I look ridiculous.
Yeah, no, you do. But if you do want to support the show, you can get some merch and we'll send it to you anywhere in the world. And of course, next episode, Cash vs. Trash continues with just the same thing.
Even better.
Just the same thing
but
that you've
better
been
and way more
saying.
comfortable. Way less Lycra, which is what everyone needs in their life. Way less Lycra.
He looks ridiculous.